For decades, Shasta Lake has been the quiet backbone of California's water system, a vast reservoir tucked into the northern hills, designed to absorb winter storms slowly and release water carefully over time. Its movements were once predictable, seasonal, measured. That rhythm has now been broken. In a matter of days, water levels at Shasta Lake surged dramatically, placing the reservoir just over 60 feet below full capacity. On paper, that might sound like good news. After years of drought, rising water should signal recovery. But scientists, hydrologists, and emergency planners are not celebrating, because this rise didn't happen the way it normally does. It wasn't gradual, it wasn't paced by snowmelt, and it wasn't something existing models were designed to manage. Instead, the lake climbed rapidly, faster than many historical records can comfortably explain. And when systems built for balance are forced to absorb acceleration, stability becomes fragile. This is not just a story about water returning. It's a story about speed and what happens when nature moves faster than preparation. Over a short span of time, Shasta Lake rose more than 35 feet, not over a season, not over months, but through a relentless sequence of powerful storms driven by atmospheric rivers. These storms did not arrive spaced apart. They stacked. Hydrologists monitoring the basin describe it as an anomaly, not because rain is unusual, but because the rate of inflow defied expectations. Planning documents assume time for absorption, time for controlled releases, time for decision-making. That time vanished. Gauge readings updated daily revealed a reservoir filling at a pace once thought unlikely. Each storm added pressure to a system already stretched by the previous one. This wasn't replenishment. It was accumulation, and accumulation changes risk. When water arrives slowly, infrastructure adapts. When it arrives fast, systems are forced in a constant reaction mode. That shift from management to response is where danger begins to surface. Just a year earlier, California was operating under a drought mindset. Shasta Lake hovered near historic lows. Boat ramps ended in dust. Marinas shut down. Cities debated rationing. Farmers drilled deeper into already stressed aquifers. The land hardened. Years without consistent rainfall compacted soil, stripping it of its ability to absorb moisture efficiently. When rain finally returned, the ground didn't welcome it. It rejected it. Instead of soaking in, water rushed across the surface, into rivers, channels, and reservoirs, almost immediately. What should have been a slow recharge became rapid runoff. California didn't ease from drought into abundance. It snapped. An infrastructure built to carefully store water suddenly faced the opposite challenge: how to release it safely without overwhelming everything downstream. As Shasta Lake filled, attention shifted beyond the dam itself. Every additional foot of water meant increased stress throughout the entire system. Rivers downstream began to swell. Levees faced pressure from both sides. Floodplains, long developed for housing and roads, quietly resumed their ancient role as overflow zones. In nearby communities, relief quickly turned into vigilance. Roads once extended for drought access slipped beneath rising water. Rural towns scrambled to deploy sandbags and temporary barriers. Emergency crews monitored conditions hour by hour. Too much water had become the new crisis, and many communities were unprepared for that reversal. Dams are designed for balance, for predictable inflows and controlled adjustments. What they're facing now is velocity, and velocity leaves little room for error. What the public sees, submerged docks, rising shorelines, overflowing spillways, is only part of the story. The greater concern lies beneath the surface. As reservoirs fill rapidly, pressure doesn't stop at concrete walls. It pushes into surrounding geology. Water tables rise, sediment shifts, old fault systems experience new loading stress. Geologists caution that sudden reservoir filling, especially after long drought periods, can subtly alter subsurface conditions. This does not mean earthquakes are inevitable, but it does increase microseismic activity in already stressed regions. Meanwhile, aging tunnels, spillways, and underground infrastructure are being pushed harder than they have been in years. Maintenance crews now operate in constant inspection mode, searching for leaks, erosion, and stress fractures. Because when failure occurs under pressure, it rarely announces itself in advance. California's water system was designed for a climate of averages. Predictable winters, gradual snowpack melt, time to react. That climate no longer exists. Atmospheric rivers now deliver extreme rainfall in compressed bursts. Drought years harden soils. Wet years overwhelm them. Infrastructure built for moderation is now forced to operate at the edges of its design limits. At multiple reservoirs, engineers rehearse emergency release scenarios in real time. Past failures are not forgotten, and even upgraded systems face difficult trade-offs. Release water too quickly. Downstream flooding increases. Hold too much back. Structural risk rises. There are no perfect choices, only less dangerous ones. As storms briefly pause and water levels stabilize, for now, a quiet tension settles across California. Shasta Lake's dramatic rise represents renewal after drought, but it also exposes vulnerabilities in infrastructure, geology, and policy shaped by a calmer past. Satellite images reveal shorelines transformed. Models based on historical norms struggle to keep up with a system that no longer behaves predictably. California now lives between extremes. Every drop can save. Every surge can threaten. The question is no longer whether record will break, but how often and how prepared we'll be when they do. This isn't the end of the story. It's the beginning of a new chapter in how water, land, and climate interact in real time.